So we're doing the stock valuation question from 2015 paper. So it's question 8a. So I've just laid out the basics of it. So we have 4 periods here. I start off with a certain number of goods. And it says down the bottom here, opening stocks 5.2 at 6 each. So that's what the thing is actually worth. And we'll add the things I got in, the units I got in. We'll take away the ones I sold. And we'll end up with the opening stock for the following month. Okay. 3 months, following period. So I bought 4 or 5 and they cost me 6 each. So the credit sales will be taken away. So for the first period, I sold 1,200 at 10 each. And then the value of that is going to be this number. And the cash sales is 1,100 at 11 each. So the opening stock then is if I add all the units, we're adding all those together, so 7,400 units. So now, when you want to work out the cost of those, some of those units, 7,400, that means they're all going to be, because all the goods I bought all cost €6. But if they'd come in at different times and they'd been worth different amounts, the first load of goods I would have sold would be the opening stock. So you'd end up with 4 or 5 times 6 plus whatever the opening stock was originally worth. But these are both worth the same, so that makes life very easy. So the opening stock is worth that. So then we have our purchases. Okay, then we have our credit sales and our cash sales. So we bought 2.4 and we bought them for €7 each. So this is going to make our closing stock a little more complicated later on. Credit sales 2.2 and they were 11 each. Cash sales then was 1.4 and we sold them for 12 each. So opening stock. So the opening stock in units, we're adding up all of these all the way down to there. So with 6.2. So that 6.2 is going to be made up of times 7, because we still have those left over. We never sold them. These 3.5 that we sold, they would have all come from this opening stock. So we have all of this minus the 3.6, I think it is here, that we sold, taken away from 7.4. So that's where we come up with our value of them. Okay, so I'm not going to put a specific number in here. I'm going to say some of these goods are worth 7, some of them are worth 6. So if I work out the value of it, I'd be able to work out the total amount of money involved. I don't need to work that out because it's actually going to waste time in terms of the question, because I don't need to find that number. I do need to find the final closing stock though. So purchases then is 1.4 and I buy them at €6 each, so we have a different figure again for how much these things cost. And we have credit sales and we have cash sales. So credit sales is 1.4 and we sold at 10 each. cash sales is 16. And we sold them for 13 each. Opening stock. Now we have purchases, credit sales, cash sales, and we have closing stock. So the opening stock is 62 plus 14 minus 14 and minus 1600, so 46. And some of those, now these goods, some of them would have cost 6 and some of them would have cost 7, so we'll have to come to those later. So I'm just going to put those there as a reminder. So the purchases, so I bought 26 at €8. Credit sales, I bought 1600, or sorry, I sold 1600, and I sold them at €11 each. And then I sold a further 1100 at €13 each. Okay, so my closing stock then is going to be, in terms of units, all of those. So I had 46 at the beginning, I bought another 26, so that means I had a total of 72, and I got rid of 27, so that's where that number comes from. So that package of goods is made up of 3 different amounts. So first of all, what do I have left? I still have the 26. I never got rid of those, and they were worth 8. Okay, so I'll multiply those plus as well as that. So I have a total of 4/5 to explain. So as well as that, I have some of this 4/6. So I need how many more? If I take 2/6 away from 4/5, I'll end up with 2/9. So yeah, so 2/9. So I have 2/9 further to explain, and that 2/9 is made up from that 4/600. And that 4/600 now. So where this 4/600, where did it come from? Let's move back here and see which goods were comprised of this 4/6. So that 4/6 would have included this last load of goods I bought in. So I've got 2/6 which I bought here, the previous goods I bought, which don't bring me all the way up to the 4/5 I'm trying to explain. So here I have 1400, and how much did those 1400 cost me? They cost me 6. So I had 2/6, which is the last goods I brought in, and then I have the previous goods, which was 1400 times 6. Okay, and now I still have how many left? So if I work that out, that's a total of 4,000. So I'm looking for the 500 from the previous load of goods, which was this load here, and they came in at 7. So 500 times 7, multiply those two together, and that's my closing stock. Most of the marks would have gone for that part of the question because obviously it's long. Okay, so you have to prepare a trading account for the year ended. So we have sales, so the sales, where am I going to get the sales numbers from? So I'm going to add all of my sales. So I'll add the 1200. Let's see, I had 1200 and that. So that's the cash sales credits. So 12 grand and 12.1. So I'll have that number plus 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 that number. All of these are my 4 different periods with 2 credit sales each one. No, I did not. Sorry. That's so 12 grand. So what's this? Equals that number plus that number plus that number plus that number. Opening stock. So the opening stock is a 52 times 6. We already worked that out up here. So that's 31,200. The purchases. So again, another long number. So my purchases, I have this plus this plus this plus this plus, no, that's it. And then my closing stock. That's the figure I had to work out earlier on. So if I add these two, take away my closing stock, and that gives me my gross profit. Okay, I hope that makes a bit of sense to you.